Everything okay in there, baby?
I'm just an average man with an average life.
Where the money at? I'm an entrepreneur. I work in the spirit of the pimp game.
You know your girl gotta know what's going on in these streets.
No, get off!
That's the car right there. An elevator in this bitch?
Slick, come on. That make your spider senses tingle. What kind of shit is this?
Like I'm in the Twilight Zone.
Don't let the back door hit you.
We gotta go.
I don't know what that was, but that wasn't me.
Somebody is conducting experiments on us.
It's in fucking chicken.
The shit in everything.
Grape train. Come the fuck on. This our homeland. We don't do nothing about it. Nobody will.
Don't let the back door hit you. Come on, boy.
Chill. Just fucking chill.
Shit! Oh, this motherfucker did.
Okay, we ain't got no time for no negativity. Go give me some goddamn wet that something that's pulling my... You keep your pimp hand raised and be willing to protect the ones you love by any means necessary. I ain't scared. I'm a dope boy, remember? Excuse me, kind sir, but if you could point me to the elevator that leads down to the freaky laboratory,
Don't let the back door hit you.
I'll be out your atmosphere. Let's get it, man.
We're on the scene trying to figure out what has happened.
This shit fucked up. They out here cloning this. What the fuck going on in this bitch?
That's right, that is the prevailing theory.
Tell me, is it just a dream?
What's going on, good people? You just saw a little bit of They Clone Tyrone, and we are here. It's the NRW, as always, to give you a little review to say what we thought about such a fine movie, directed by Juel Taylor, starring all the people that you know, Jamie Foxx, John Boyega, Teyonah Parris, and a whole host of others. I'm joined by my man, who they did not clone. At least I don't think so. This looks like the original, the one, the only Kuya. P, what's happening, brother?
I'm good, brother. Good to talk to you, man. Gotta show love to this film, man. When this dropped, I don't think we really covered it or picked it because it kind of flew under the radar, if you will. And we weren't getting the same kind of Netflix love that we usually get, so it kind of slipped through, I think. But man, when we finally saw it, I know you saw it before I did. And
I did. I think I saw it the day that it dropped. I was very excited. Yeah. Oddly enough, the same day that this came out, Jamie Foxx there was a sighting. He came back and he was around, and there's no correlation there, of course. So, but this film was pretty solid. They Clone Tyrone. It's the story of Fontaine and Slick Charles and Yo-Yo as they venture through this wild world in the hood, trying to figure out what is going on. What are the weird happenings that are going on all around them? They find themselves in a predicament where one of the characters.
I think it's safe if we spoil it all, Glenn. Just as
yeah, for sure.
Since it's been out for a while.
In a predicament where one of the characters thinks that they got killed, and then they're seen getting killed, and then they come back alive. But really, they haven't come back alive. They've been taken to an underground lair and they've been cloned. It was fire. I thought that the film had a lot of interesting little points, and it really made you kind of think of like, what is going on? What are they putting in the food? What are they putting in the water? What are they putting in the drinks? What are they putting into the media that's making us, act in certain ways? And the one thing that I got from it is like all around the world, same song type of thing. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like everywhere we go, there's the same kind of archetypes, and what are they putting in stuff to make it so that we're getting the same archetype? So, yeah, you said that you wanted to spoil it, so you go a little bit deeper.
Well, no, I didn't. I said if we get to spoil, if we drop spoilers, I don't.
Oh yeah,
it's been out for a minute. I this would all just be love to it. So I don't worry about the spoilers too much to mess up the people. This will only probably, I think, just, hey, just see what other people are feeling and vibing. But man, I thought this was amazing. Like you, I think it made you get really introspective about your own realities in life. And again, how a lot of things are the same across the board, just different circumstances, different, just little certain changes. But yeah, man, but think about just what you are doing and contributing to the world, and how things are controlled in a lot of ways, and how you control yourself in reaction to a lot of those things as well. I thought it was just really well done, shot really well. Of course, like you said, Teyonah, Jamie, John acted the hell out this thing. Just an outstanding effort by all. I was just curious, just all the little different angles, how the story went along. I'm curious more so on like a filmmaking side of things, because like you and I, we're filmmakers, and just the concept and conceiving this and then putting the script together. I would just have loved to be in those writing sessions and incorporating certain elements of the culture to speak on things, because there's a lot of stuff that I think was said in this film that I think we as a people or in the culture kind of think, and how they integrated it into certain elements, and on how they can tie certain things into it. Right. And just the fun of putting certain locales to it. Right. So we're going to have like, in this fast food chain, one of the doors to the underground layer. We're going to have like another door come out the strip club, or in the church, or what, you know what I'm saying?
The salon, I think, was another one.
It was
like
wild, bro. Like,
yeah, man. It's like,
it just was really well done.
They enter into our world. For those of y'all who've seen the film, of course, it's the story of Fontaine getting, I guess, killed and trying to figure out what happened to himself, because he has these memories, and going to search that down and finding out that he's been cloned, seeing a clone of himself in this secret little government location. And then he enlists my man Jamie Foxx, Slick Charles, and then they go in and find it. I don't know, just there's some really, really cool parts in the film. That
was actually going to be my next question to you before you I was curious what your favorite moment was.
Oh, yeah. I was about to ask you, were there some moments in there that were your favorite in this film? Like with the Slick Charles, were there any moments of his acting that you really liked, or Fontaine? Like, what were the moments that you liked in the film?
All right, well, same question, because that's what I was gonna drop back at you. So we're throwing it at each other. So for me, to be honest, I like how at what we thought was the ending, but it's not. Is at the very end. We had it at I would say this is in, like, I'm trying to figure, was this like location in like the Midwest, if you will? Because it really could be any hood or any place.
Yeah, it felt
you know
like
what I'm saying?
St. Louis or something like that,
right? So I would say what I dug was at the quote unquote ending, we're now in the West Coast. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm like, oh, now I want to see this film, if you will. But it's the end of the movie. We're not going to see it. So I'm just curious, like, how these characters in the West Coast are now seeing this reality, and they're changing things because they're watching the news. They're seeing what went down in the Midwest, right? At the very end. So I'm like, damn it, I'm at the end of the movie now, but now we're doing West Coast. Like, I want to see how different perspectives of different locales would react to the situation. You know what I'm saying? So that moment was like, damn, they did damn good movie all the way through. But then here, you made me want to chime in for another 2 hours or whatever, another link time. So like, I'm all ready for part 2 now, if we can do that, So that would be like one of my favorite moments. How about you?
It's very interesting. That moment that you picked, like at the end, I'll tell you my favorite moment in a minute. But wasn't it interesting that was the person named Tyrone at the very, very end versus like Fontaine is, you know what I mean? Like,
and they played Tyrone.
They clone Tyrone, Erykah Badu.
At the end. I was like, when are you going to drop that track? And they dropped the track at the end.
I tell you what, my favorite part was when they were in there eating the chicken, and they started having the giggles or whatever, and it was like, wait a minute, it's in the chicken. And I thought it was such great acting and such great storytelling.
Shout out to Jamie Foxx, bro.
Shout out to Jamie Foxx, but also shout out to John Boyega, because at that point, Fontaine, the main character, had not laughed or did any type of like levity, you know what I mean? He didn't really smile, and then to have like this chicken that he's eating, and all of a sudden he's like laughing, and that's where we kind of figure out like something's not right, because he's showing that emotion that he doesn't normally show. I thought that was fairly dope, and then it was also interesting to kind of try to figure out at what point did we know that Fontaine had been cloned before, because the very beginning of it, he starts hanging out with the little dude who isn't really his brother or whatever, but I guess is like there is kind of like akin to his brother, and he just he like laughs with him and jokes with them, and is really kind of taking them on as like a little thing. But then he's also very, very serious and stoic. Like, did that Fontaine know about his circumstance or whatnot? It was just a fire movie, going down, seeing all the different clones or whatever. Jamie Foxx doing his little slick move to basically let his clone be free, and then to jump out at the end. I thought that was really cool and really clever. I thought the bad guy who had figured it all out happened to be the original Fontaine, who really just wanted his brother back, but did this dastardly work for these other people that ended up hurting a whole culture. That was also very, very interesting. The whole film was done really well. We haven't talked about Teyonah Parris, who just is flame, so fire. I'm looking at that picture. She just looks scrumptious in that picture behind you.
Yes, sir.
With all due respect,
can't wait for Miss
Marvel. All due respect, looks like a marvel. She definitely looks like a marvel. So I don't know. The film was great. I can't wait if they do another sequel. It was just real fun. And I feel like we've gotten a lot of interesting films of late. And I'm really sad that this writer strike is happening, because I feel like it's going to put a hold on all these great, creative, interesting ideas that have been popping out, and we're going to get a lot of sequels and reboots and all that type of stuff, and we don't get original films like this. That's one big thing I want to say about this. This is an original film that is just fire looking at it. That is just this original idea that came out and came to fruition in the way that it did.
Got you. I would say we're not going to not lose on those ideas. I think right now is only making writers and other talents angry, and out of anger comes fire. And they're going to put it into that writing. So it's going to happen. It's the studios that are going to probably fund some BS and just throw some BS at the wall that they've used AI to create, and not pay real writers. And then my hope is this resolution of the strikes is going to go in the favor of writers and actors. And then we're going to see that change happen right away with some amazing shit that they put down during this strike. So that's, or at least that's my hope. I'm being optimistic with what's going down, but yeah, man, this was dope. Fire. Hope for part two. A question I had as you were talking, that because when you brought up part two is, like I said, I wanted another two hours after the ending of this one. I wanted like the straight continuation. What do you perceive in a possible Tyrone 2 if we were to get a part 2? Do you want to continue out from where we saw the West Coast, or do you want to throw it to some other locale? Where would you write it out as?
The awakening, man. The awakening. We want to see the awakening, how it has awakened people, or did it lull people back to sleep?
So a mixture of different locations?
Yeah, different locations being awakened. To see that happen. That's definitely what I want to see. I want to see Yo-Yo's plight, after she went off and went off to explore with all this newfound knowledge and everything breaking down. I'd love to see that. Explore, and I think a Slick Charles sequel would be dope as well. Seeing Slick Charles and that character come to life, and how he maneuvers in this world where now clones are a thing. What's next in that world where clones have been shown to be something that is out there, it's in the world. How does Slick Charles operate on that? So I think that'd be good. And of course, Fontaine, clearly we'd want to see him back, and how his growth as a character
Yeah.
where that goes.
I just remembered one more thing that I wanted to say that blew me away and surprised me, because I didn't see the cast credit list other than our three leads. But when Kiefer Sutherland came out to be one of the baddies, I was like, my man from 24, what?
Jack Bauer
In a nice little role. So shout out to my man Kiefer Sutherland.
Yeah, you can't.
I like that they got him in there with a little something.
Cannot forget Kiefer in there, dude. He was definitely a good. Oh, and also we can't forget David Alan Grier was in there. How can we forget the legend David Alan Grier gracing the film as well? So definitely a great cast, definitely a great film, and it's just trippy and it makes you think, man. So if you haven't seen it yet, it's been out for a minute. I think you should go home, plop down, check out They Clone Tyrone. Definitely worth your time. Definitely a fun movie. Definitely interesting, and definitely will make you think. Some people will see it as surface level entertainment, which it is, but there's also like a deeper story, deeper messages to it, which I think very much can very much can bring light to certain things within our society. So I liked it. I give it double thumbs up. Really, really loved it, man. What's your final verdict? Two of them.
You said double thumbs up. I gotta echo that, man. Damn. It was dope. That was dope, man. Yeah. Super fire. So there you have it. That's our review of They Clone Tyrone. We love the film. So many great portions, so many great points, so many great parts to this film. You should go check it out for yourself. I think you should just go tonight, right after you turn off us, turn on Netflix, check out They Clone Tyrone. Once again, directed by Juel Taylor, starring John Boyega, Jamie Foxx, and Teyonah Parris, man. Kuya P, tell them where they can find you. You can follow me at The Legend Kuya P on Twitter, TikTok, IG, Hive, and Blue Sky. And of course, here with Glenn and the whole squad at the NRW National News Wednesday, where nerds rule the world. How can they follow you, Glenn, and level up?
Yeah, man. They can find me at levelupcomedy.com. Glenn Levels Up on Twitter, X, or Glenn Lawrence Comedy on Facebook and IG. And that's it, y'all. That's our review of They Clone Tyrone. Go see it. We loved it. We think you will too. Peace.